Welcome to the Mindset Unleashed Today podcast. My name is Tommy Gucciardo, and I'm excited to share my insights and experiences with you to help you shift your mindset and improve your life. Now, what we're going to be doing is we're going to be exploring different areas of life, discussing how to make positive changes. Now, I'll be doing this by interviewing guests who can provide additional perspectives and their experiences. I believe that by making a mindset shift, we can all unleash our full potential and create the lives we want to live. I hope you'll join me on this journey. How you doing? I want to welcome everybody to the Mindset Unleashed Today podcast. This is the first podcast. My name's Tommy Gucciardo, and I'm the host. So what I'd like to do for the first episode is kind of give you a background of who I am and what I am and where I think this podcast is going to go and what we could do to help you in your daily life. But, you know, the easiest thing for me to do is take you back to the beginning, take you back to, you know, where I started, and how I got to where I am today. And you know, and I always say this, I wish I could tell you that my story was all bad. There was a lot of great stuff in the story. You know, I had a great family. We're a strong Italian family from Queens. Father, professional, mother, teacher, retired teacher, brother's a chiropractor, and then I always say there's me, the black sheep. But I didn't become the black sheep overnight. It took some time to become the black sheep. And when I say the black sheep, I just chose different areas of life that fulfilled the needs that I was looking for. And, my parents did everything humanly possible. They coached my little league team. They were there for schooling events. You know, they took me places, family vacations, always had clothes, always had food, always had something, right? But there was always something that I might have been missing. And something that I was always searching for. And I bring it back for me, I bring it back to as a young kid, being around, big Italian family, right? Always, big holidays, big table of people, and everybody's talking and laughing and have a good time. And I always had an uncomfortable feeling back then. I always felt like everybody was talking about me, that I wasn't good enough. And so those are the feelings that my earliest feelings that I've felt, right? And I used them for a long period of time. And, and they talk about addiction, there's more than just picking up the drug. It's the feelings around that drug, right? And why we pick up the drug. So, me feeling inadequate and not feeling right, I always gravitated toward things or people that stoked my ego, right? That made me feel good about myself. Whether it, doing something wrong, right? So, if I was doing something wrong and somebody was like, oh, that's great, I'm glad you're doing that with me. Or, could you do that? Could you help me, do something, whether it beat somebody up, whether it do a crime. I did these things because I felt important, right? And it's stuff that haunted me for a long period of time, and I fit into that. And no matter how hard I tried to do things, I always went back to that kind of lifestyle. And it fed me for a very long period of time. It got me in trouble at a very young age, got, arrested at a very young age, I kind of went with that, like getting in trouble. It was okay to get in trouble. Like, it was a badge of honor to get in trouble. And, I remember, like, when I got in trouble, and I remember when, my parents sent me down to Florida to get away from the area, get away from the neighborhood. And I hated them for that. Because I felt like people were talking about me. Why do you have to leave? Why is he going away, right? And it just sat with me, and it made me mad. It made me angry. So when I went down to Florida to be with my grandparents, I did everything humanly possible to get back to New York, to get them to hate me, to not like me, right? And these are the people that retired down to Florida and wanted their grandkids to come there. Within a couple of months, they were begging my parents to take me back, And when we cause problems and when we cause issues, we don't realize the pain that we cause other people. And I regret that, right? I sit with that right now, and I regret that today, that I wasn't good to my grandparents at that time, right? But you know what? I didn't care. I wasn't thinking. And that's what the disease does to you. That's what the disease of addiction does to you. And that's what just, when you're not thinking straight, things like that happen, right? And so that was one part of the story. After I got arrested and that case got closed, I made a promise that I was going to go to school, and I did. I went to school. I promised my parents I would go to school, but I didn't change who I was, right? And when I graduated college, I remember, being like, I don't want to be a 9 to 5 guy. Like, I don't want to be that, right? But now today I look back at all those 9 to 5 guys are all retired right now and living a great life with their grandkids, and me, I had to take a lot more bumps and bruises along the way. So, I got married to my childhood sweetheart. I started a career. I was making a tremendous amount of money, and I really wasn't, thinking about anything but myself. I got divorced. And, and that's where my the darkness really started for me, and where the disease really crept up on me, because I was alone, right? And I was alone really for the first time. I was lost and I didn't know what to do. And the drugs made me feel comfortable. They let me get out of myself, right? And when I was in that feeling, and when I was using, and when, everything was okay, right? But it really wasn't okay, because, everything around me was falling apart, right? My marriage, the business that I started, fell apart. There was an arrest, and it was all chaos and confusion, right? And I ended up getting arrested, and I ended up doing time. And my thought process was, I'm going away for a few years. I'll clean myself up, and I'll change, and I'll be a different person when I come home, right? But that wasn't the case, right? Just like when I went to Florida, that same person who went to Florida was the same person who went to jail, right? And didn't change who he was. It didn't change the person that they were. And that's the key, right? You have to do some work on yourself. And I never thought about that at the time, right? I just thought being abstinent from a lifestyle, abstinent from drugs, abstinent from, criminal behavior was just going to change my life, and it didn't, right? So the same person that went away was the same person that came home, right? And during that process, right, I didn't change. And you know what? My disease got dormant. So when I came home, I was given a good job. Once again, I got what I wanted. I was able to get something, right? My parents took care of me once again. My father got me a good job, but I didn't want to work. I didn't want to work for somebody. I'm like, why do I have to work for somebody? I could do something by myself, right? And once again, the smart guy in the room, which is me, decides that he can go out and start a business. And that business caused me to get arrested another time, right? So it's just the thought processes don't change, right? I'm just, getting deeper and deeper. I don't change my thought processes. And, along the way, of being incarcerated, I'm in and out of my children's lives. And I can never get back those recitals. I can never get back those, those first days of schools. I miss all that stuff, right? And I don't want to live like that today, right? I don't want to miss anything anymore. Whether it's the littlest thing or the biggest thing, I don't want to miss anything anymore, right? And, it took me some pain and suffering along the way, 2 divorces. Once again, I got divorced again, right? 2 divorces, 2 incarcerations, like I said, a few businesses lost that, really I had to decide at one point. And I remember the day pretty clear. I got arrested on Christmas Eve. And, I was in a jail cell on Christmas Eve. And I remember that I had to make a choice at that point. Do I want to keep living like that? Do I want to keep on making these same mistakes? Do I keep on want to just, live this lifestyle? And I made a decision not to, right? And I made a decision at that point to put some work in and do some work on myself. And that's where the mindset shift comes along, right? I had to change my thought process. I had to change who I was, what I thought about, and you know, like I had to strip myself down and build myself up again with a new thought process. And you know, it wasn't easy. It took some time, you know. But today I know I'm a different person because of it, and you know, because I'm understanding things. I'm understanding, you know, why I get mad at things, and I understand that, you know, sometimes I still get mad, and sometimes I still get angry, and sometimes I still get resentful. But the feelings don't last as long, and I don't take those feelings, and I don't keep going with those feelings. I process them. I talk about them, whether with somebody else, you know, that has similar experiences to me, whether I talk to a friend, you know, a relationship, just to get these things out, because I don't want to keep these things inside anymore. The more I keep things inside, the more hurt and more pain I have. When I let these things out, I'm able to breathe, right? And today I have a beautiful life. You know, today I have, you know, I have the things that I want. Do I want more? Yes. You know, I think all of us want more. But today I have what I need, right? I have a business, a successful business. I have relationships. I have, you know, with you know, with people, you know, at work, you know, friends, girlfriends, you know, also with my children and my family. You know, those are the keys. You know, these are the people that I hurt so many times along the way, and they're still with me. You know, I'm able to have relationships with my kids today. They come to me when they have troubles, right? I would never expect them. You know, if you told me 10 years ago, 20 years ago, I'm gonna help my kids, I would say, you know, I would thought about myself first. I couldn't even help myself, but now I'm helping them, right? And I see the pain that they go through, and I see the you know, the things that I struggled with as a kid, right? And I just give them my experience. I don't tell them what to do. I don't tell them how to do it. I'm just honest with them. I want them to be honest with me, you know, because I was never honest with anybody. You know, I always looked in the mirror and lied to myself, thinking I looked good when I wasn't, thinking that everything was okay when it wasn't. So, you know, this is kind of like I gave you an overview of, you know, what my life was about. There's so many other avenues that we're going to go down, that we're going to talk about. We'll get into depth on them. I just wanted to give you an overview of where I am or where I was, and you know that we could all change, right? We could all change, but it all starts with us. We have to be willing to make a change and make a choice to change. And we have to be willing to put in the work once we say that we're willing to change. Because that's what it comes down to, putting in the work. And we could all shift our mindsets, right? So I hopefully you got something out of this. You know, down the road, we're going to bring in some guests. We're going to bring in some people that I've had relationships for a long period of time that I respect, that will give you a lot of great insight. We're going to bring in, you know, we're just going to talk about a lot of different stuff, and how it affects people and how it affects families, lives, and how we can get better and just how we can grow together. So if you got anything out of this, you know, just throw a comment, you know, down below. You know, please do me a favor. The only way that this can grow and we can get out to more people and that we could be able to help more people to change their mindset is by liking, commenting, subscribing, and sharing. Please do some of those things, if not all of them. And I hope you have a great day, and I'll see you next week. Thank you very much.